This is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, out with the news that Americans are continuing to pay attention to domestic politics over global politics. What do you think of this, sir?
You know, I don't know. They need to start focusing on other stuff. I mean, there's a lot more than just what's going on here. You know?
Now, fighting in the Middle East and hunting terrorists in Europe, and there's even nuclear testing going on in North Korea. What do you make of these issues that are going on right now?
That's what we need to be focusing on. I mean, it's one thing to focus on what's going on our own doorstep, but then pretty soon it's going to come to us. If we don't start focusing on these, someone's going to have to step up and start this war.
Now, Syrian refugees are continuing to head to Europe. Russians are pulling their troops out of Syria. Turkey is bombing Iraq, of all things, and the police were shot while arresting 19 people in Europe. And we even have Iran and North Korea planning missile tests this week. What do you make of that?
Yeah, again, you know, this is the kind of things we got to focus on. I mean, things like that, that's going to lead to war. Pretty soon people got to realize war is coming, and I don't know about anyone else, but I'm prepared to step up.
Now, how much longer do you think America can continue to ignore these issues?
Not for much longer the way it's going. I mean, pretty soon we're going to be fighting this war, whether we like it or not.
So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say?
Do your part, America. We need to start keeping an eye on this.
So in closing, this is Taxes on the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'm going to raise your taxes this election season. Now, this is Taxes on the Predatory Lending Network, out with the news that Americans are concentrating more on domestic politics over global issues. What do you think of this, sir?
Well, you know, fear spreads like a virus, and it goes all over the world. And I think we should focus more on the world, because I myself want to spread fear, but I can't just be domestic about it. I have to think global.
Now, fighting in the Middle East and hunting terrorists in Europe, and there's even nuclear testing in North Korea this week. What do you make of that?
Nuclear testing, you know, that's a bit primitive. You know, you're bringing out all these weapons just to destroy the world. That's not good. If you destroy the world, there's no people. Without people, there's no one to scare.
Now, this week we've seen Syrian refugees headed towards Europe, Russians pulling their troops out of Syria, Turkey even bombing Iraq, and the police were shot while arresting 19 people in Europe. And again, we have nuclear missile testing in Iran and North Korea. How does that affect the fear in your world?
Great. It causes great fear, but it's not my kind of fear. Like, fear is supposed to come deep from inside of what people are deep within their souls. But if it's just coming from a weapon, that's cliche.
Now, how much longer do you think America can ignore the rest of the world?
Not for long. Eventually, a storm will come all the way to our states. And when it does, there will be destruction.
So in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say?
Fear is on the inside. Doesn't come from the barrel of a gun. It comes from the mind.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'm raising your taxes. Now, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network, out with the news that Americans are continuing to concentrate on domestic politics over global politics. What do you think of this, sir?
I think that there should be no global politics, man. We just need to keep the world alive so dinosaurs can thrive.
Now, fighting in the Middle East and hunting terrorist suspects in Europe, and we even have nuclear testing in North Korea this week. What do you make of all these global issues?
I'm just saying, there shouldn't be nuclear testing. We saw what happened with the dinosaurs. I'm the last survivor, man. There should be just peace. World peace.
Now, this week we've seen Syrian refugees fleeing towards Europe. The Russians are pulling their troops out of Syria. Turkey was bombing Iraq, and 3 policemen were shot while arresting 19 people in Europe. And to top it all off, we have nuclear testing in Iran and North Korea. What do you make of that?
I'm just saying, man, there should be no more murder. We've been murdered enough.
Now, how much longer do you think America can ignore these global issues?
Not for very long, sir. Not for very long.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Go dinosaurs, man. Power to the dinosaurs!
Power to the dinosaurs. So in closing, this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, saying I'm taxing you. Now this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, out with the news that Americans are continuing to concentrate on domestic politics over global issues. What do you think of this?
Well, you know, why focus on home when you can focus on the world?
Okay, now fighting in the Middle East, and we have hunting for terrorist suspects in Europe, and we even had nuclear testing in North Korea this week. What do you make of these issues?
Well, you know, I think we can all agree who's behind all of this. I think we all know it's this dirty umbrella corporation. I tell you what, they got their fingers in everything, and now it's spreading, and soon it's going to be here, and soon it'll be across the world.
Now this week we have had Syrian refugees fleeing and heading towards Europe, Russian troops pulling out of Syria, Turkey was even bombing Iraq, and then we had 3 policemen shot while arresting 19 terror suspects in Europe. And to top it all off, we have had nuclear testing in Iran and North Korea. What do you make of that?
All tied back to umbrella. These all sound like umbrella cover-ups. I promise you, it's all about biological testing, and we're gonna be fighting a zombie apocalypse soon.
Now, how much longer do you think America can ignore the rest of the world?
Not much longer, like I said. It's going to be on a global scale, and it will be coming for you.
Is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Down with umbrella.
In closing, this is Tax System, the Predatory Lending Network, saying I'm taxing you.